Hello, this is Johnny. Right now I just put the SD card back on, and the one we are demoing is called the retro game 3001. And we did the last video. What we did is we actually add all the game together to see is there exactly 3000, and there was 3007 in this system. And I went and put back the SD card, the 16 gig that come with the system, just to see, just to demo what it looked like. And then I also put a 128 gigabyte SD card here, and just to show you what it have before we go ahead and swap it to the new firmware 1.6 stock firmware. And this is a 2.1 version, a retro game version 2.1. So that's the firmware that we download onto this SD card 32 gig. So if you haven't checked out that video, check that one out. It shows you where to download it and how to put it into the SD card and how to utilize all the disk space so you get the full 32 gig. And so here I just went and power on, and this is what it looked like before any firmware update. And it's fully charged. Well, no, it's not fully charged. It's using the power cable because the other part is right here. I have not put it on yet. So let's go ahead and demonstrate it. Let's go ahead and press A. This is what it came with. It came with game, Capcom game, roughly about 36 game, and it seemed like all this is majority the zip file. But this emulator, it look this firmware, it looked very similar to the, let's press B, like the one that came with the Retro Arcade, that looked like Neo Geo Mini. Okay, it used the FBA format. If you look at it, it used a Neo Geo FBA format. So those are the one that will actually play on this system. But once we update to the new firmware, I'm not sure the FBA will work on this system because I haven't even tested yet. So we're gonna test it after this. I think I got the highest value up already. You only have one speaker. So the game's saving and is pressing both buttons at the same time, and you could go and instant archive, press A, save it, press A again, see what happened. Now I noticed that this system is much slower than the Retro Arcade, like the loading process and also Right now, I try to save it, but it's not doing it. There you go, finally save it. So it takes a while to save. Press B to get out. And let's go ahead and quit this game. Okay. So let me put this little thing, because I didn't put the case on. So this thing is falling off. This button right here. Okay. So let's go back a little bit. Go back to the emulator. You have Neo Geo, Game Boy Advance, Super Famicom, Mega Drive, and the Nintendo, and Game Boy Color, and Master System, and also Game Gear. Now the Retro Arcade, those two doesn't work. Let me just put this on the side. And so let's go ahead and try those, see if it work at all. The Game Gear. And let's try the Street of Rage 2 on the Game Gear, which is the handheld Sega Genesis. Now the Street Fighter 2 here is not going to be as good as the original Street Fighter 2. Press start. Similar gameplay, but the graphics, like I say, is an 8-bit handheld, so the graphics is not going to be that great at all. The gameplay, functionality buttons seem to be working pretty good. Alright, so let's get out of the game. So Game Gear does work, so I'm going to go ahead and quit. Alright, so let's get out this again, and let's try Sega Master System. Now, like I say, this game does load longer when you have a lot of game. Okay, let's see, we have Street Fighter 2 here. It is Street of Rage. Not Street Fighter, but Street of Rage 2. They're not in alphabet order, so it's gonna take a while to find it. Let's go ahead and try Michael Jackson Moonwalk. So system is on full blast, so only have one speaker. I like the arcade version better because you can sit on the table, where this one, when you play, it tend to move around. So Sega Genesis game does work too. You can see the character kind of disappear when it was fighting. I'm still trying to figure out which one is which. So the X is on the top. Jumping as the B button. I didn't like the way they configure this, because I like it to be right next to each other, the jumping and all that stuff. Let me focus more from photo view instead of. Okay. Alright, so let's get out of the game. So Sega Genesis does work, and Game Gear does work on the same platform. Okay, so that's good. So press B, press A again. So now we're going to test Sega Master. See if Sega Master also work on this system, because it didn't work on Retro Arcade. So here's Sega Master. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So it's played pretty well. So to the closest retro game system without using a Raspberry Pi, this is pretty doggone good for emulator on one system, because a lot of time to get all the emulator working, you have to have something like Raspberry Pi, and those are very expensive and very complicated to put it together. So a lot of people are favor of something like emulator is there. You just pop it up and you don't have to choose the emulator. You could just play the game based on the folder. So it's pretty cool. All right, so those emulator does work. I believe there's total of 10. So let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's it. Okay. So there's 10 emulator, and now we're gonna turn it off and try the new emulator and see if it have more emulator we could play with. Okay, so I'm gonna flip that around, and we're gonna go ahead and pop this SD card out. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and put the new SD card in, which we download, and hopefully this is the first time doing this, so hopefully this is the correct firmware and it will work. If it doesn't, then we'll go back to square one, see what's going on. Okay, since I'm not using the battery because I'm not closing the case, I've kind of have a problem the first time when I put the case back on. Somehow the battery and connection is not connecting or something, and it's not turning on. So this time I left the case open and just used the power cable, and seemed to be working better this way. So its power is on, it's blinking, and I'm going to turn the power on. Okay, it doesn't seem to want to boot up. I notice the connection here somehow are not very great, because I noticed that I have to pop it out and pop it back in to get that connection good in there. So I believe once you put it in, it's best to put that little sticky thing back on, because I think the connection are kind of loose on this system, because it won't turn back on if you don't put it correctly. So you want to test it and make sure it works before you put the case back on, and then test it again before you put all the screw back on, because in case that it won't turn back on because the SD card is not all the way in or something. Yeah, having a problem again with this system. I don't believe it's the SD card. I believe it's something wrong with this thing is not put in correctly. So let me take this out. If it's not seeing the SD card, it's not going to boot up. Okay. Alright, cross our finger. Hope this come up this time. Cause yep, having the same problem again. Now I don't know, is it because the firmware we have is not compatible, which is causing the problem? This is not booting up. So this firmware apparently did not want it to work. The patches that they suggest are 1.6, because apparently it's not working. So let's try again. Let's pop this SD card out. Push it one more time. Power it on. Nope. So back to the drawing board. Apparently this one did not want it to work. Now I noticed that in the car it say it's a version 1.0, but in the board it say it's 2.1. You notice that? So I don't know, maybe it's not, maybe we shouldn't follow this. Maybe we should follow based on the car itself. Let me focus this. See, the car is saying that it's a 1.0, okay, but the system is saying it's a 2.1. So I don't know, I'm not sure which one is the correct version. I mean, this is what I download is 2.1, the newer model. Now they do have another one say 2.1, but it's an older model. So yeah, that's the kind of scratching in a way. It's like it doesn't say the particular model on this car, so it just say the version. So you really not sure which one is which. So it's kind of confusing. All right, let me put the regular SD card in, and let me do some more research on this and find out exactly which one we're supposed to use. So then I'll let you guys know for this white one, because apparently I'm using this white one and it's not working. So I don't know, is it because I download the wrong firmware? Okay, let's just plug. See, this one just comes straight up, you know, with a power plug-in, no problem. But the other one just won't work. 'Try it one more time. Yeah, it still won't come up. The power is on, blinking and everything. Yeah, it still won't come up. You hold the power button, it still won't work. Well, I guess I'm gonna go try the 1.1 or the 2.1, the older version, see if it works, because all the effort of transferring file, a couple hours already wasted, because it took me 3 hours just to copy the data over, you know, the ROM, because it doesn't come with any ROM. I wish they just have a SD card. Originally they have something called patch. You could just put it in and install it, but that didn't work, because when you try to run the install, it doesn't do nothing. So now they change it where you have to burn the SD card again, which is a kind of hassle, because then you have to move the ROM that came with the system into the new SD card, and then you know, do the upgrade. So all right, just let you know that it didn't work, it failed. So you might want to wait till I get it working, but if you want to go ahead and try yourself, but this is what happened, it doesn't work. So hopefully maybe because that particular one having some issue with it, maybe, not sure, but do not know why it doesn't work. All right, thank you for watching. See you later.